Although many people are excited to see the upcoming Captain America Civil War, there are many who wonder if the film will essentially become the Avengers 2.5. Actor Chris Evans assures us that is not the case. In an interview for D23, a magazine available to D23 Gold members, the actor said, as quoted by Yahoo Movies, "Even though there are a lot of characters, the focus is on Steve and his struggle, especially his struggle with Tony Stark. It's exciting to see a guy who's as optimistic and as selfless as Steve be met with letdown, betrayal, frustration, and selfishness. There are events and people in his life that test him, that challenge him, and force him to reevaluate who he is and what he wants out of life." Clark buyer-sell Evans comments that Civil War will continue Steve Rogers' journey and not be an Avengers continuation.
Yeah, I buy it. I definitely buy it. I'm very excited for Civil War, like very excited. I love everything I've seen so far, and I think too, when you think about the Marvel movies over the last couple of years, it's not necessarily anything new that there are different characters, you know, from all around the universe, sort of coming into play and being important parts of those stories. And frankly, I didn't really feel like the trailers or the promotional materials have set it up to be like an Avengers 2.5. So I don't feel misled by that at all. And I love that he's sort of honing in on the fact that this is at its core. Yes, there are other appearances from other characters, but at its core, it's a story about Tony and Cap. And so I love it. I buy it big time.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it as well. And I think that I can understand where a lot of people might say, oh, because Iron Man's going to be in it, and now you're introducing Black Panther and Spider-Man and Ant-Man's going to be in it, and Hawkeye, and all these people are going to be back, that you could say, oh, it's just going to be another Avengers, which some people might not think that's a bad thing. But you also got to remember who's directing it, the Russo brothers, and they're very aware of what they did. Arguably, to me, Captain America Winter Soldier is the best Marvel movie that's out there. It's my favorite by far. And these guys know that from what's happened before them, whether it's any of the Avengers movies, any of the movies that came before, that it all leads up to this moment, but it is, the protagonist of the story is Steve Rogers. And I think that you hear Chris Evans, I feel the same way you did. I never really felt this was going to be an Avengers 2.5, even though that we had so many characters in there that people are just going to make that, you know, assumption right away. But it's got to be Steve Rogers, because look at the focus on him and Bucky. Look at that. That's going to be the main thing. And because it's about Steve Rogers, and they've also been building up so much in the Avengers and Avengers 2 about how both Steve Rogers and Tony have been butting heads, that you see that line. That's why that line is so impactful in the trailer when he says, "So was I." Everyone goes, "Oh!" And then they're kicking the crap out of him as you're watching. Like, you don't know who to root for. You kind of want Iron Man to get up. But that to me shows this is about Steve Rogers and Bucky and Tony together, and it's their story. So it's definitely the second Captain America movie. Dennis?
Well, first off, how do we get membership into this special D23 Gold Members magazine that I had never heard of before? Apparently, it's an elite club that we are not privy to. I buy the comments, though. I do think it's going to be a mix. I think it's going to be a mix of Winter Soldier and Age of Ultron, and I'm okay with that, because in Age of Ultron, we saw the beginning of this kind of division between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. You know, when they're talking at the farm, they have different viewpoints and perspectives.
Total opposite sides, right?
Yeah, perspective. They're both trying to achieve the same goal, but they have different ways about going about it, and I think that's going to be the main focal point. But we are going to get I think it's going to be a little Avengers and a little Winter Soldier in there.
Well, I mean, that's kind of inevitable. I mean, you're gonna have
continuity.
That.
It's necessary.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you have that many characters in there, you're going to have scenes that's going to remind you of the Avengers. It's just whether or not the entire thread of the movie is going to feel like an Avengers movie, and I just don't feel that it will.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.